live as one. We dance as one. We are united in our love for trance. Look around you. You are surrounded by people who share your love for the music that brings all of us here together. After exploring new horizons, we have gathered here to embark on a new journey, where the trip is more important than its destination. Join us. And remember the words of the famous Jamaican poet. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel all right.
Buonasera, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Armin van Buuren. Glad to have you with me again. It feels like a year went by since the last broadcast. I can't even remember. Was that Mumbai, Gijs?
It was Mumbai.
It was Mumbai.
It was India.
I'm so glad we're doing this again. We missed you guys. This is a State of Trance coming to you from the country of the Coronas, the Señoritas and the Sombreros. Mexico! I'm standing outside Palacio de los Deportes in Mexico City, and we have the Radio Dome with us again, which is just outside where everything happens, and we have a really nice crowd in front of us. Hello! Coming to you live in audio and video. If you haven't tuned in already, check our live stream. Go to stateoftrance.com to have a look at tonight's event. Pretty epic lineup here in area number 1. In just a little bit, Coma from Colombia taking the stage, followed by Andrew Rayel, 1 hour set, then a 2 hour set by myself, and then Mr. Paul van Dyk. And closing it all off is Mr. John O'Callaghan. Atmosphere sounds like it's really amazing already.
You just gotta love Mexico.
Well, we did Armin Only here, the Intense show, and I remember that was one of the best shows of the entire
tour. I watched it on the plane coming here.
It's goosebumps.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah, you could feel the floor tremble. I think that's the same thing now. You could just feel the people jumping up and down.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right, let us know where you're listening from, and if you can hear us, the hashtag all evening, ASOTFestMEX. And if you have any requests, certain tracks you'd like to hear, use that hashtag or drop me an email, old school, armin@thestateoftrance.com. All right, enough talking for now. Let's start the night with the sounds of Ruben de Ronde. 15,000 Trance fans on location right now in Palacio de los Deportes. And it's a festival. We don't have one but two areas. In the other area, you can catch Genix, Tunisia, Jochen Miller, Rank 1, Jordan Suckley, and the guy playing right now is Roach. All those sets will be recorded, of course, and I'll make sure that they'll be broadcasted in a later moment. So tune into the regular State of Trance episodes to hear more about that. And joining me right now, he told me he was a little bit nervous, and he said this is his first main stage performance. One of the rising stars in trance. I just premiered his new single on the State of Trance radio show, Restart Coma. How you doing?
Buenas noches. How are you, Mark?
You speak Spanish, right?
Yeah, of course.
Say something to your Spanish friends.
Buenas noches, Mexico.
All right, very quickly. What can we expect from you? What are you going to play for us?
Well, tonight it's all about new music. It's all about all my new work, everything that I've been working for the past 2 months. So yeah, really excited. You know, you just premiered my first vocal track. It was really amazing.
What were the reactions to that?
Bro, that was crazy. You know,
yeah?
I didn't expect that because you know the people knows more about Coma, like more the dark sound. You know, the groove and everything. Now this is another side of Coma, another more beautiful, more uplifting, and the people really like it. So I'm really happy with it.
Hey, don't be a prisoner of your own style, right?
Yes, sir.
Embrace the music. Guys, what's happening online?
Let's see. Orhan Sonar word up. He's up all night to get lucky. He's staying awake for the whole show. That's a good thing, Onar.
Ali is the best. She says she's loving all the good vibes coming from Mexico.
And Armin Mephisto was wondering which tunes you played in the warm-up.
I'll post my warm-up set later on the stateoftrance.com, alright?
I think you played some Hot Since 82 in it.
Ruben de Ronde, make some noise! ¿Qué pasa? Are you guys ready for a state of trance? Then make some noise from our man Ruben de Ronde. Come on! This is a State of Trance, live from Palacio de los Deportes in Mexico City. Glad you're tuned in with us. Very proud of this guy, Ruben de Ronde. He helps me every week with the radio show, checking all the tracks, you know, making sure that everything runs smoothly for the radio show. He has his own label, Statement Recordings, and he's rocking the decks right now. And right before he went on stage, Gijs had a brief interview with him.
The Rec Room. Gijs Alchemade.
Happy to be in Mexico again, because it's your third time now, fourth time?
I think it's the fourth time that I'm here, and the Mexican crowd is absolutely insane. They've been here since 4 or 5 already. There was lines outside. The party didn't start yet, and yet the dance floor is already filled up. So it's gonna be a magical night.
How do you prepare?
I have a lot of tracks that I sent to my label Statement that I'm playing tonight, exclusive stuff, and new tracks of myself. So
which tracks are you definitely gonna play?
I just made a new tune with Tanisha. It's the 4th tune that we made together. So I'm pretty nervous to play that one because it's not really up-tempo or anything. It's a tune that I made with a lot of passion. But tonight's the first time that I'm gonna play it, so I'm nervous for that.
A State of Trance Festival.
Within 5 minutes on stage, Colombian legend in the making, Coma for you. But let's hurry back to the main stage for the last bit of Ruben.